See how he's got the stripes on his tail, like yellow stripes. So he's just a little monitor lizard, and he's been here for a while. I mean, we just see him every once in a while like this while we're driving by. He lives in the drainage system. So there he is. Let's drive by and get a closer look. And then he'll like run into the drain. There's like a little drain right next to him. But he's just like chilling. Again, like a villain over here. I'm chilling like a villain, and then he's gonna run back into the drain. So he's just like, oh, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I wish I could go out there and catch him. Catch him like a Pokemon. So that's our wildlife here. We call him yellowtail. He's gonna go right into that grate right there. So much. See? Look how slow he goes. Yeah, I'm just taking my time. He's walking towards me. Oh, he's walking towards me. He's like using the sidewalk. Alright, he's gonna go back. He goes, I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm going back home. He's going back home. Sometimes he'll stick his head out and like say, hey, what's going on? There you go. There he goes, going back inside. That's where he lives.
Magbibidyo!
Hello, true believers. This is BebotsOnly doing another review, and it's been a while since I've done one of these shoe reviews, soccer shoe reviews. So I decided I'm gonna do one now. I actually set up a channel for Hero. It's called Vendetta Football, but I haven't had a chance to upload videos to it yet. I just set it up, and so it's on my list of things to do. So in the future, hopefully in the near future versus the medium or the long term, I should be uploading all his football related videos there. But for now, we'll just do this one right now because I'm trying to just keep a variety of videos. Sometimes I'll do car videos, sometimes I'll do football, soccer, shoe related videos, or I'll do Gundam videos, or I'll do other potpourri of, and just to keep it interesting. And I know I said I'm gonna read one of the resolutions. I have 3 of them. So I'm gonna be doing that next. But for now, I just wanted to, or do reaction videos or other review videos. But for now, I wanted to get one of these football videos out of the way since I haven't done a football related video. So I'll try to do this in one take. I got a bunch of shoes set up, and you're probably gonna ask the question, BebotsOnly, why do you have so many shoes? First of all, Hero loves football. This is probably the one thing that saved him. I mean, during the last 3 years, it's been a journey through hell for all of us, not only me, but for my family to be all of a sudden without me. So they had to be on their own. So one of the things, and Hero is very angry about what happened. I mean, angry, sad, sorry, and all those negative emotions. He needed to channel them to something constructive, something positive, and that's where football came in. And at first, the boss told me that his football might be sacrificed because she can't keep it up, or she can't maintain it, or she can't train Hero like I trained Hero. And I said, no, this has become more important now, his football, because he needs something constructive to channel all his negative emotions through what was happening with our family, with me. So what she did was, then I got private coaching, the coaching that I would normally do. She had other coaches do it through privately, and it worked out, as she gave her something to do, gave her something to focus on, also taking him to his practices, and gave him something to keep themselves occupied and watch while I go through my own journey through Inferno. I went through my own Dante's journey through Inferno, but the good thing is I survived. So here I am. As you can see, it's gonna take a while for the channel to grow again, and I've been through this. I've grown a lot of channels over the years, ever since I think 2008 or 2009. So it's 2021 now. So we're talking about 12, 13 years that I've been blogging, and here I am again, starting over again. And I just work through it, and I just persevere. I just have that kind of personality that I just don't give up, and I just keep going, and I just kind of find inspiration in the inspiration in itself. So even if nobody's watching, nobody's commenting, that's kind of the strange thing. It's like all the trolls that I'm usually feeding are not. I'll wake up, see if there's any trolls I have to feed, and they're gone, disappeared. So I don't know. Well, anyway, that doesn't mean we keep going. I mean, we do what we do because we want to, not because of what other people do. So let's get back to the review here. So why football? So I already said why football is so important. Your next question is why are there so many shoes? And so the reason why, there's many reasons why. One of the reasons why is number one is Hero outgrows them. So actually, Hero is in his teens now, so his feet have stabilized. It got to a point where he was growing one size per year. So he needed to change his shoes every year until he finally got to size 12. And when he was, because what was happening was when he was like 7 years old, he had size 7. When he was 8 years old, he was size 8. When he was 9 years old, he was size 9. And same thing, 10 years old, size 10, 11 years. So when he got to 12 years old, before I went into prison, it became size 12. So all his shoes were size 12. So it stabilized around size 12. We have some size 12 and a half and a size 13 that I was anticipating for his growth, but it's stabilized around 12, 12 and a half right now. But Hero's got a lot of growing to do. So it just stabilized, it slowed down right now, but who knows, by next year he'll be 12 and a half, and maybe 2 years or 3 years he might be size 13. So he still has a lot of growing to do because he's in his early teens right now. So when he gets into his late teens, he probably will grow into size 13, or he might stay size 12. We don't know. So, but for now, he's size 12. It's stabilized. So, when I went in, I could tell that he was like between 11 and before I went in, he was like between 11 and a half and 12. So we were buying size 12s for him to grow into. So now, and then we bought some size 12 and a halves for him to grow into, but it's kind of stabilized around size 12. So with football, you have to go with, you can't go with bigger shoes because it has to be the right length, the right fit, or he's not going to be able to kick the ball properly with his foot. In football, you can't use your hands, so your feet are your feet are your hands. So you have to catch the ball with your feet. So you got to have the exact fit, the best fit. And if they're too small or if they're too big, he's not going to be able to catch the ball and kick the ball and dribble the ball properly. So we can't buy shoes that are too big for him to grow into. And another thing, so that's number one reason why we have so many shoes, is he'll grow out of them. If he's size 12, all his 11 and a half's gone. So then he goes 12 and a half. So halfway through the year, he'll grow out of them. So we'll get 12 and a half. We can't get, or 11 and a half. We can't get size 12 yet because then size 12 would be too big. He's got too much space where his toes are and he can't kick it properly. But this is Hero's dream. He always says that it's my dream also, because growing up as a poor minority with a single mom in the 80s by Rosecrans, it was like my Karate Kid moment. And I know Karate Kid has like a reprise right now because of Cobra Kai. And it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit corny the way they kind of represent karate as the end all be all, which the TV series Cobra Kai does a excellent. I should do a Cobra Kai review, but I haven't had a chance to view all of them. But Hero loves watching Cobra Kai. The biggest problem with the reprise is karate just kind of went out of fashion in the 80s. And in the 80s, back then when you were being bullied, the answer was karate, but you had to take karate lessons, or if you had a Mr. Miyagi to teach you, then you could fight your bullies with karate, and then that would be problem solved. My problem was I really didn't have a Mr. Miyagi to kind of help me through the bullies, so I just kind of in the 80s, bullying, if you're different, especially there weren't that many Filipinos in the 80s at that time. Now it's like Filipinos are everywhere in most major cities, so bullying is not really a big deal. And then at that time, 80s, Filipinos really didn't kind of fit into their own category. You were just kind of bunched in with the other gooks or nips, and you just kind of bullied the same way as they are. Not now, advanced 30, 40 years later, the Asians or Filipinos have pretty much, there's a new generation now that are used to them. So the bullying, it pretty much goes both ways. But if you're growing up like me, like you're poor, it's the 80s, you got a single mom, and there's no sports. And of course, I was very jealous of my other friends that were into sports. In life, you have to have that balance, and you have to. So I just kind of focused on academics, and just kind of try to be, that's where I expressed my negative energy, or and do try to do something constructive. So now as a parent, of course, the only as a parent, our only purpose in life is to give our children what we always wanted. So I wanted to give Hero the dad that I always wanted. And so I'm very active in his sports, and it's a joy, it's such a thrill to watch your kids playing football. I mean, it's better than you playing football. I mean, if I played professional sports or organized sports, I'm trying to imagine it. I mean, I'll play pickup basketball. That's pretty much my involvement as exercise. But when it comes to organized sports, I would think that it's more thrilling to watch Hero play than me actually play, especially in my old age. And one of the funny, right now we're practicing, and I used to be his goalkeeper. I can't even, I don't even move that fast anymore. I think it has a combination of the last 3 years of living like in a veal farm of not moving, and then my old age at the same time. Because now that I used to be in my mid 40s, now I'm going to be in my late 40s. So I'm halfway through my life, more than halfway. So hopefully my body can recover where I can be active again. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So let's get back to the review. So he outgrows them. Next is why we have so many shoes is he just wears them out. And and when it comes to football shoes, I wanted to say soccer shoes, but yeah, but we're here in the Philippines, so we call them football. And I know in America you have to call them soccer, but everywhere else in the world we call them football, and I'm kind of used to it. Football. I even call it in foosball in Germany. But anyway, the biggest problem is he'll wear them out. And I'll give you an example over here. This is his favorite ever shoe, the Flyknit Ultra. He loves them, loves the color, loves everything about him, loves wearing them. When he wears them, he feels like he could do anything. I mean, it feels like his most favorite players. But this was actually what's that guy from Chelsea's name? This was his shoe. I forgot his Chelsea. Normally it's Messi and Ronaldo is his favorite football players, but but their shoes are kind of not as good as this. So I love these. These were sponsored by Michael B. He brought them during one of his visits over here. So Hero was very excited. When he wore these, people would just stop and stare at his shoes. It's almost like it's now like a fashion show how important what shoes you wear now. I mean, I think it's always been important, but it's more important now because of social media, and it's just a poor kid over here in the Philippines knows exactly what the latest Italian shoes are because of social media now, and they know if like one of them. So this is like the latest and greatest Italian. This was actually made in Italy shoe. So all the kids knew exactly that what these are, and how not only are these very expensive and they're very rare. So it was very fortunate that Michael B was able to get one of these. It all of a sudden it popped up. They had it in this size. I mean, get the availability and getting the size is what's really difficult, especially when it comes to these limited editions. And this Flyknit Ultra eventually became the boot of the year, or the shoe of the year. So for very good reasons, very comfortable. These ribs gave good touch control on the ball, and the color. And so as you can see over here, it's got the Italian flag, so made in Italy. And this material, I wish that they would bring it back. They probably would bring it back. If they brought it back, we would love to get a pair. I will sell a kidney to get another pair of these because they are just that good. The biggest problem is, so he wore them so much that, see, as you can see, I kind of keep it clean every time he wears them, because he loves to wear them all the time. So after he wears them, I'll wash them, and as you can see, the wear on the upper has kind of lost some of its luster. So it's normally if the I'm trying to think. So every surface he uses, but in the medial side, yeah, he even uses the middle side also. So you could see the wear on the upper itself. So that's pretty good. The problem came in because he wore them so much, is that he wore down the studs. Look at that. There is no stud whatsoever for it to grip the ground, which becomes very dangerous. And here in the Philippines, the ground is either very wet or very dry, and everybody knows that, okay, if it's muddy conditions, it gets very wet, so it's not as big as a problem when it gets very dry. When it's dry, the sun just bakes the mud. It turns into concrete. So during the summer, he would wear these. These were his go-to tournament shoes, and he wouldn't want to wear this year. That season, he didn't want to wear anything else. And the problem is, during the summer, the ground gets not only firm but concrete hard, and he just kind of wore through this spike over here, especially this one. This is kind of like the important one because this is kind of like your stopping spike, so for turning and stopping, and that's the biggest. That's the issue with football or with any sports is there's a lot of turning and pivoting and stopping, and this is usually the first spike that goes. So as you can see, it's worn out, and that's not gonna stop anything. It's gonna pretty much slide through. So it wasn't something that he could continue to wear. But the upper kept up. It stayed. It didn't separate. As you can see, the upper stayed on pretty good. There's really no peeling or cracking like other Nike shoes were famous for. But before he could do that, he just wore this too much and wore out the spike. And this is a pretty important spike, so we had to retire these and move on. So that's one example. So the shoes will last 6 months to a year, no more than a year. I mean, I'll give you other examples. So this one was sponsored by Michael B. Thank you very much, Michael B. And he loves tiempos, and as you can see, here's another example. He just wore right through the core of that one. So this is the spike that usually wears out. Once it wears out, then you can't stop. You can't stop. So this is that keeps you from slipping when you stop or right. When you plant, especially when you kick the ball. So he's a righty, so he'll plant his foot, his left foot to kick with his right foot, and if you don't, all your weight is on that little tiny spike right there. And if you don't have any grip on the ground and you're gonna slide while you're kicking and you go aerial, it becomes you're prone to injury once you get to this point. You just retire it right away. I mean, the better part of all, yes, the rest of the shoe looks good, the leather is perfect, but there's nothing you can do to repair this. That's it. I don't want Hero injuring himself, plants his left foot to kick with his right foot, and there's nothing gripping the ground to stop it. So, because it's instant, because when you plant, usually you'll plant like this, and then there are other spikes or the other is not planted yet, and it's mostly right here, right on the outside of your foot that plants first. The other spikes are not as worn out, but the front ones, these are for when he takes off and on his toes. These ones don't get a lot until the second part. But this usually gets the brunt of the stress. So that's another common thing. So that's the first thing that wears out. So also the upper will wear out also. So he loves tiempos because of the leather. This will start cracking, falling apart like this. And the upper will start separating like this. So these are the other common problems after a year or after heavy use to start falling apart. They'll start separating, the sole will start separating from the upper. And what we've done before is we've had them sewn together. As you can see, this thread right here, this heavy duty thread. So we'll have them repaired. If that's it, we'll have them glued and repaired together like that. Okay, so the spikes on this one is still pretty good. These tiempos, I think these are 6, Legend 6. So these are kind of like the hand-me-downs, and these are what I'm using right now. But I had them repaired. The leather is still good. The spikes are still good, so I'm using it. But this is kind of one of the things that happens. So when that happens, we kind of retire it and if we can repair it, we'll repair it. But when it comes to performance and it starts falling apart like this and like this, then we pretty much retire it. And me, I don't mind, I'll use anything. So that's one example. As you can see, how it falls apart. These are sponsored by a mixture of people. Actually, he loved these Predators also. He loves all his shoes, and you can see he loved them so much that he just kind of wore out the spike right here. Look at this spike right here, right? So how are we supposed to use that after it's been turned into like that? So once the grip on the ground, I mean, that's the most important part. Look how worn this one out. This one is. So no spike whatsoever. And when it's uneven like that, when you get worn like that, you're more likely. So now it's like at an angle. I don't know if you can appreciate that. So why people twist their ankles? So if this is lower than that, so all of a sudden the center of gravity shifts to the outside. So it's already at an angle because this part wears out. So if you have a shoe, if you look at the shoe and it wears out on the outside more, and then you're prone to twisting your ankle down, because the tendency now, if you stop and it's already an angle like this, and the pressure, bam, goes into your ankle and twist your ankle. So very dangerous. Better common part of valor is your health is more important, and prevention is the best remedy or solution when it comes to injuries, preventing injuries. So as much as he loved them, and look how scratched these things are, or worn them out. So during one summer, one season, gone. The shoes are gone. And another reason why, so it gets worn out. So look at this one. His Predators. He likes Predators. Not so much Nemesis. His favorite shoes are leather. So they're usually Tiempos or Copas, which is what these are. And what is it? This is the Euphoria. Okay, before I forget, they have fancy names for it. And it's very important that I get it right, or people are gonna get upset at me in the comments. I think this is the Euphoria colors. And if I'm wrong, somebody in the comments will the football people are fanatics. They'll riot over this if you get the name wrong. So me, I mean, I try my best. So the other thing that he does is indoor football, right? Especially right now, he does a lot of online training, and there's no time in the grass or the pitch. So let me give you an example of how he goes through futsal shoes or indoor shoes. This one is already, as you could see, has worn out over here. So usually here by the forefoot, they'll wear out. So as you can see, this one has no more grip. I mean, it's supposed to be grippy like this, and then over here it's already gone. So when it's gone like that, so when it becomes slippery like that, it becomes dangerous. And like I said, Hero wants to continue playing football continue at the highest level. He would love to play for the Olympics or the SEA Games. That would be quite epic. But as you can see, these futsal shoes had to be retired. And these blue ones over here, I think these are sponsored by Pico. Pico got these blue futsal shoes. I think he won their first tournament, indoor futsal tournament championship with these blue shoes. But look at how worn these out. He loved these. Thank you very much, Pico. But he wore them through not only the first layer of rubber, but he's already wearing through the second layer of rubber. So these, he still uses them, but I'm pretty much gonna retire them as soon as I get another pair, because right now he doesn't really have another pair. As you can see from here, this one he had, or this is an old Nemesis. He doesn't like the Nemesis anymore. He doesn't like the collar of the Nemesis, but as you can see, that he wore through this one too. Because number one, he's heavy. Number two, he does a lot of, it's not like heavy, but he's heavy enough that this rubber and the twisting and the stopping and the pivoting just wore through that. So I'm already like 24 minutes into the review and I still haven't done it. But anyway, he wore through that. So what I did was I ordered another pair of futsal shoes, but in the meantime, We got these back from Mr. Quickie. This one, remember the sole fell apart or it started splitting. So before he could wear out the bottom, I said the bottom still looks pretty good, as you could see. The outside hasn't been worn out. So, but before he could wear these out, the sole started splitting. So we went to go with Mr. Quickie for $10 or 500 pesos. We got these glued and stitched back on. So they're not the answer, because he could tear through these stitches and through the glue also. So they're kind of like a temporary stop. So they'll last only for a short time and then they'll start falling apart again. But in the meantime, until we get another pair of futsal shoes, he could use these. So this is what he's using right now instead of these. So I said, you know what, let's order another pair of futsal shoes, indoor shoes. And then while that's being ordered, it usually takes like a month or two, I said, let's repair these and have him wear these, because they're size 12, so they still fit him. We kind of got these big when he was only 11 and a half, I think. But then the sole started splitting. It was on sale, so it was kind of old. Old shoes have old glue, and the sole started splitting right away. So before he could wear them out. So now I don't know which one's gonna split first, the sole or this part is gonna wear out first. So anyway, that's how he goes through. As you could see, he split this one, this one, this one, and this one in like 3 years. So he went through 4 sets of shoes. 4 sets of shoes in 2 years. And we just give you another example. These were sponsored by, so these are Pico. This one is David M. So this is his anti-clogs. We wear them only when it's raining or when it's muddy. And as you can see, the outer layer is already kind of falling apart right here. So fortunately we like these anti-clogs so much that we have another pair sponsored by Pico. So Pico sponsored these. These are expensive. They're like $300. So we've been wearing this one out. We've been wearing this one while it's raining and muddy until the uppers started falling apart like this, and we're saving this one. So this one was sponsored by David M, and this one was sponsored by Pico. So thank you very much, Pico. Thank you very much, David M, and thank you very much, Michael B. And thank you everyone for the rest of our sponsors, True Believers, for all the rest of these shoes. Without it, Hero. I mean, I do this all for my family, the kids. Hero. So here's another one where this, as you can see, the toe started splitting. We repaired it, but the repair wasn't that good on this one. It kind of created sharp edges and creases, and then as you can see, the thread started falling apart. So, and then this one. So once they start going into repair mode, they're pretty much already in semi-retirement mode. So once the sole starts splitting, it's just a temporary fix. So the best thing to do is just kind of retire them. So that's why we have so many shoes. And another reason why we have so many shoes is because part of playing good is looking good. Okay, because if you look good, you play good. And if you're not playing good, just as long as you look good, good enough. I mean, Billy Crystal says that it's always better to look good than to feel good. Well, in football, to perform well, you gotta not only look good, but you gotta feel good also. So that's why after a year, all these shoes are retired. And to look good, what we usually have is we have one light pair and one dark pair. Or dark pair, okay? Because like this, or his favorite right here, or dark pair like this, or his favorite like this. Maybe we'll wear these every once in a while for practice, just to kind of show off that hey, we actually had a pair of Night Flighted Ultras. So, but always have a dark pair and a light pair. Why? Because usually
this, you want to match your socks and your kit. That's your uniform. They like to call it kit. So I want to be hip, and I don't want to call it uniform. It's called a kit. So if you hear uniform, I've never heard kit before, but now I do. I normally it would be uniform, but you sound like a hick when you say uniform. So if you want to be hip, you want to be cool, you say kit. So the kid they're wearing, the uniform they're wearing, it's either dark or light. So if he's wearing he plays for several football. He plays for his school, but he also plays for a club, and he also plays for the city. So he plays for like three teams at least, with three different uniforms. So for Ceres, which is his club football, they have a dark uniform, which means they usually wear dark socks. So when you do that, you don't want to look like a ninny and wear white shoes with your dark socks. It just looks like you're wearing white shoes and black socks, and you look like you should be delivering the mail. So you don't want to look like, you want to be like that guy who was wearing light shoes and dark socks. So if he's wearing dark socks with his Ceres uniform, it's usually black shorts and black socks. And you got to wear dark shoes also. I mean, just as long as the color is dark, even red, he can get away with it because this one is black. So that's why he wore this a lot. So it matches with his Ceres uniform. So he always has dark shoes. That's his first go-to. But when he's playing for his school, Hero, congratulations, Hero. He's actually playing for a new school. Those are one of the things we had to do, is for part of his safety reasons, because the police threatened our children by harming them. And usually when they harm them, when it comes to the police, it means death. When police harm you and they threaten you with harm, it means they're gonna murder you. They're gonna kill you. So one of the things we had to do for safety reasons, well, we had to move the kids to a different school. So who knows if law enforcement is watching this? So let's assume they are. You won't be able to find my kids in their old school anymore. So if you want to harm them, if you want to do something, especially after you threaten them, they're in the better school now. So the school. So I don't know if I'm probably saying too much here, but the school that there has a dark uniform and light uniform. So they have like an away and a home, and their home is light uniform, white socks. So he has to have white shoes. You could wear black shoes with the white, but you definitely can't wear white shoes with black socks unless it has black in it. But the right thing to do to look good, so you're not distracted, is just wear the right color shoes. So if you're wearing white socks, it's best. I'm not like the fashion police, but it's something that I don't want to be distracted by it, or I don't want Hero to be distracted by it. I want him to be wearing the right color shoes at the same time. So if he's wearing light or white socks, it's usually white socks or dark socks. It could be blue. Then you got to wear dark shoes with it. So here he has his Euphoria. But as you can see, it gets so dirty easily. The shoelaces get so dirty. I mean, I got to clean that now. Usually that's what I do after he practices. I'll clean them, but I just haven't had time. So this is his Copa 20.1 Euphoria pack. And as you can see, the studs are still in great shape. No problem there. So these are, we got them new this season. So with his new school, then the lockdown happened. I mean, he was wearing this a lot in the beginning of the year, and then March, lockdown happened, no more practice with his new school. So these had to be, so we still use them on our own. But as you can see, he needed a dark pair. So he's got a light pair, and if he's wearing dark socks, he could get away with them because he's got these dark, the Adidas logo on it. But it'd be best if we got a dark pair of shoes, of football boots. Okay, let's call them properly, football boots. So I've been doing these vlogs early in the morning while I have plenty of daylight. So I don't have to use artificial light because this phone's artificial. It doesn't, the color is kind of off with artificial light with this phone. I mean, this phone is just hand me down, but I would love to get one of these new phones that have better lenses and better capabilities. So I'll probably ask our friends if they can get me one of these new phones. I actually like using the cell phone. It's just more convenient versus carrying an extra camera. But I just have to get a good phone with a good camera and has a lot of memory on it so I don't run out. So we got the white pair, we got the light pair of shoes, and now we had to get the dark pair. So this is for his home games. And the new school that he's going at now is excellent. They have a great sports program. They have a great soccer program. So they have great coaches. So they spend a lot of resources on their sports. This is one of the schools that actually participate in higher level competitions. So hopefully this will give Hero the exposure he needs to hopefully get to the national team, and once you're in the national team, you can get picked for the more important tournaments like the SEA Games, the Southeast Asian Olympic Games, or the actual Olympics themselves. That's his dream. I mean, a boy can dream, and why not? He's a varsity player of a very famous sports school right now, and he's training and he's getting his skills, he's improving his skills. So, and he's got great shoes. So this is the Euphoria pack. So let's get to the shoe that I'm actually going to review. So he's got the light color shoes. First thing I want to say, that's his favorite, leather. He kind of outgrew out of the laceless. He had laceless shoes before, and they don't have the same lockdown. They're fine for practices, but if it comes to serious tournaments, serious competition, it's best to go with your best, most comfortable, most lockdown shoes. So he likes leather. He likes the feel of leather. He likes the touch of leather. He likes how it kind of hugs your feet. So he likes the other stuff, but his first choice is leather. And he likes laces. He's kind of outgrown the gimmick of the laceless. So he prefers laceless, and he's kind of outgrown the collar. There's nothing wrong with the collar. He likes the collar. But he prefers the non-collar because the collar gives him blisters back here. I mean, these still can give him blisters. So we have these kind of silicone back heel protectors so he doesn't develop blisters, especially if he's practicing for several hours. If he's only going to be practicing for a short time, it doesn't give him a problem. But eventually, any shoe, if you practice for a long time repetitively, the chafing on the back of the heel will start happening. So we have some tape and some protective layers so he doesn't get blisters back there. So he loves leather, loves the laces, and likes the low collar. So for example, there's like a new Predator Absolute. He likes the Predators, but he loves Tempos, Copas, and Predators are Nemesis. He kind of fell out of favor, and the Superflies and the Mercurials, not as much as he loves. He likes them all still, but he loves his leather, Tempos, and Copas when given a choice. So because he loves the leather so much and he loves the feel of this so much, we decided to get, we got the Euphoria pack for his light kit. For his white, they actually wear white, like Real Madrid, white shorts, white socks, white uniform, white kit. But he also needs black for his Ceres uniform. We decided to get this one because number one, it was on sale. Number two, he likes them. And number three, we needed a dark colored one. And what's good about this is called the Mutator pack. So first of all, let's look at the box. Adidas, and if you look over here, it was 11,000. Originally, this thing was 11,000 pesos. So you got the Copa 20.1. So he likes the 0.1s. There's going to be the cheaper versions, 0.2, 0.3. He doesn't really prefer those. So he prefers, his size right now is size 12, which stabilized. And he likes the 0.1s. Not the plus, but the 0.1s. And the same thing with the Tempos. They have these naming. Here, there's Elite, there's Academy. So over here, it's like 0.1, 0.2. And as you go down to 0.2, 0.3, it gets cheaper. Same thing with Nike. It goes Elite, Academy, something else, and they get cheaper as the material goes, quality goes down versus the premium material. So this was originally 11,000 pesos, so you're talking about $220, and we got these actually on sale, and we were lucky they were in his size for 7,000 pesos. It's still expensive, $140, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you still save almost $100 from $220 to $140. You're saving a lot of money right there. So we decided to get it, and he needed a dark pair of shoes anyway for this coming season, whenever that is. So as you can see, it's still pretty pristine, even though we've had it for like a month. He hasn't used it yet he's been antsy and he's been wanting to use it. So I decided to review this right now because he's going to be using it later today. So we're going to be practicing. It's Saturday afternoon. It's got to be Saturday afternoon now. I'm letting him sleep in, but after we eat, we're going to be taking these out for a spin. He wants to wear them. I mean, it's like, you could wear these again. And he says, no, I want to wear these ones because I want to look good while I'm wearing them. I don't want to wear my black, because right now I don't want to wear black socks, and he's been using some of his other old ones, and he really wants to use this new one with his black socks. He wants to look good while he's wearing. I mean, you could wear white socks with this because it's white, so it's pretty versatile. So that's what we liked about the colors. So you could wear red if you have red socks with this. You could wear red socks, white socks because it's white, and definitely black. So could you wear other colors with it? This probably, if they're dark enough, like if it's like navy blue, then you could wear this also. So just as long as they're dark, then wear dark colored shoes. Okay, so let's review the design of it. So it's got these at first these rib patterns. They kind of look like Michelin Man kind of pattern at first. So, but these are the grooves that give you some grip on the ball, give some texture. So this is the texture, and see these little lines. They have a little bit of texture, but not as big as these little grooves right here. So they're supposed to give you a better grip or touch on the ball. So I don't know if I'm getting the color right on this football boot. Why they call them boot? I don't know why. I mean, it's not a boot. It's just a shoe. So let's look at so the leather, of course, feels premium. I don't know. So it says here's a Copa 20.1. We love the color. Here's what it looks like on the side. Let's see if we can focus better. It's got the red shoelaces, so they don't, these will be much easier to clean than the white ones over here. Look how nasty that. I'm not going to be able to get that clean, like to get it shiny white again, unless I use probably bleach. Soak it in bleach. But here's the Copa in the back. So it's got these little line designs on it. Pretty cool. So he likes them a lot. Here's some more. You got these grooves over here for if you use a lot of the inside of your ball for shooting or for passing, for placement shooting. So you got all this leather. I think this is pretty much all leather right here. Then over here is the synthetic. So it uses fusion skin. Sorry, I almost said fluoro. Fusion skin. So that's the upper in itself. Looks good. Premium kangaroo leather. So if you're in California, you're not going to be able to get these ordered because they don't allow, because I don't know, California is a weird liberal state. I'm not saying I'm conservative. I mean, I'm kind of somewhere on the middle or on one side, leaning towards one side, depending on what issue. So, but when it comes to this issue, I'm pretty not liberal like California. I mean, kangaroo leather is, what's the difference between getting the leather from kangaroos versus getting it from cows? So I don't know all the political issues that comes with that. But anyway, they make great uppers for football boots. Thank you very much, kangaroos, for your sacrifice. We appreciate it, and we will put your leather skin to good use through these football boots. So that's the upper. That's the opening right there. You know, it's a low cut, so this is what he likes. He gives his ankle, not that the other mid cut or the collared shoes give him that much constriction, but they can if he doesn't wear, he wears usually 2 socks, but it's still, after a long time, it can cause chafing. So that's kind of an additional worry that you don't have to worry about. I mean, this could still do some chafing, but not as much as the collared. I mean, he still likes them, but prefers the low cut. There you go. So that's what it looks like on the side. And then let's go look at the stud pattern, the sole over here. So it's got the usual Adidas. You got 6 on the outside to give it grip, and you got the one in the middle. And if you look at the shape of them, this one's kind of like a half circle. This one's kind of a conical, while this one is half again, triangular. This one's kind of more triangular or half a circle also. Same thing over here, same thing over here. So this one, I guess, is more for pivoting, so they wanted to make it conical, while this one is kind of more for gripping. These ones are for gripping. So they kind of made them kind of, they like to say, bladed or semi-bladed. So we'll go to the heel over here, same thing. So they kind of create this pattern, so you get some really good grip on it. So it's so nice when it's brand new like this. The studs are so pretty and clear and perfect that you almost hate to use them, but they're meant for the abuse. And just like this, it's gonna turn out like this eventually. Look at how well worn they are. But I mean, we can't put them on a shelf and just use them for display forever. They're meant to be abused and kick the ball into rockets and tear the net, and we're gonna be tearing these up today also. So let's get a good look at the sole. Like that, you got these cool patterns over here. I think they're just much for looks. And then you got this in the mid part. You got this solid. It's not the split sole design that's not something that Hero is a fan of right now. The split sole design, they kind of lack arch support. So it's fine. I think what we're planning on doing is getting him these insole arch supports that will support the arch. So because he's got split sole shoes that he'll need arch supports for, because they kind of lack, once they go split sole, this part over here lacks the arch support. So that's eventually on my list to get for Hero is arch supports for he has split sole shoes that lack or have a decreased arch support, so it becomes his arches kind of get sore with this, especially if we are training for several hours. Towards like after 2 or 3 hours, he'll start his arches will start getting sore, but if he has arch supports insoles in them, then he should be able to use them for a long time. I mean, but if he plays the game and he plays the full game for an hour and a half, and that's the nice thing about it, is he's getting a lot of playing time. He's starting, and the coaches pretty much keep him in the game for 80 to 90% of the time. But it's only an hour and a half, and then his arches won't be. But after 2 hours, his arches will start getting sore from split sole. But that's not a problem with this, because this one's not a split sole. Okay, so let's take another closer look of what the spike design is like. You got your usual standard 4. This is what it looks like on the side. This is what it looks like in the back. Same thing over here. Ta-da! Okay, so same thing on the other pair. So what is our opinion on these? We think Copas are great. They're very popular shoes. He liked the first light version so much. We were lucky we were able to see them online at Boot Camp. So Boot Camp is a retail store over here. Had them on sale, had it in the size. We moved on it right away, and they had it delivered. So this pretty much completes our football boots this season. So hopefully by the next school year and maybe 6 months, they'll start face-to-face practicing again. But if not, these will be ready to go for the next season. And this will last a year, and then after a year we'll have to get another black or white pair. So if anybody's interested in pasalubong for Hero, he loves football shoes, futsal shoes, any color, just as long as they could be leather, as long as they're either elite or the 0.1 like this, and we'll be happy because he always needs shoes, and these are the reasons why. And he likes a dark pair and a light pair so not only he'll play good, but he'll also look good. Okay, and there's no string bag for this. The spring bags, Adidas decided to go cheap and only provide string bags for the plus version, not the 0.1s. So, but that's okay. We have plenty of string bags. That's not really that important. But what's important here is that the leather is comfortable and the spikes give him the grip that he needs for dribbling, shooting, passing, and he'll look good eventually. It looks good, so he can eventually hopefully make the national team. So his dream, the dream is to win in Staka'a. He actually played in Staka'a, which is the Southern Tagalog Athletic Collegiate Association. Anyway, it's so he actually scored in a Staka'a game. I forgot what's Southern Tagalog Athletic something Association. What does C stand for? Collegiate, but they're not in college. Anyway, so he's got a dark pair over here to complete his set now. So he's good for the rest of this season at least. Next season, we'll go through another one. And then he's got his futsal shoes that are coming that I ordered, and we'll do a review on that. So if you have any questions or comments, give it a like, please subscribe, help me grow this channel again. And then what we'll do is, after this is we'll do a on feet and play test. So we'll have Hero use these to run around and dribble and shoot using these Copa 20.1 Mutator pack for the next. So that's following this next. So after we get something to eat, we'll have brunch first. So that's what it looks like. Hero's been excited to wear these. I mean, he's got this Imelda Marcos complex that he gets from his mom, that if it's new shoes, he just loves new. He loves football so much, and then anything that's football, especially something as big deal as football boots, even though he's already got a white pair. And he knows exactly how it feels. He just because it's new, he still wants to wear it. He goes, oh, I gotta wear it. It's like an addiction for him. It's like a drug. This is his drug, his football boots. He's got to wear it. He's not gonna be able to sleep at night. I mean, when he started getting, especially when he got these, he actually took him to bed and went to sleep with them. And he didn't, not like he's wearing him on his feet. He actually will just hug it like a teddy bear. That's how much he loves his football boots. And he always says that especially he's in his teens now, in his puberty, that his girlfriend is football, is what he likes to say. He's like not interested. I mean, there'll be a point where he's interested in girls. I mean, he is, but he's more interested in football. I mean, if you ask any football player which one they prefer, football or girls, they'll tell you hands down. That's not even a fair question. I mean, people are, when it comes to football, they're fanatics, and so is Hero. Girls, I have this thing I tell them every day. Girls are a waste of time and money, and they can get you in a lot of trouble, just like your dad. So at least with football, it's all good. Anyway, that's the review of the Mutator pack. Next, like I said, we're gonna eat brunch. It's pretty late, and then we'll do some videos with this on feet and playtesting. Like I said, subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment, and thanks for watching. This is BebotsOnly. Okay, go ahead. This is Hero putting on his Copa 20.1 Mutator pack for the first time. So everybody can see what it looks like on feet. Excuse the brand mismatch here. He's pretty much wearing all Nike black right now. I think most of his socks I think are Nike. He only has a few Adidas. He could use more Adidas kit. So it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. Well, actually it's overcast, sorry. It's actually perfect. So it's not too hot, so we don't get heat stroke. Perfect. So that's one. So we've got some silicone gel pads in the back of his heel that he always has this problem when he breaks in new shoes. So I'll upload this when we get home after the gym. We're gonna do some gym, we're gonna do some back and core exercises and arms later on this evening. So we only have 2 hours in the field today because he has online training at 3 o'clock. We already said we're gonna be late. Hero has also been practicing his driving. So yeah, he's in his early teens, but it's never too late to start practicing driving because it's a vital, important skill to have. So it's good to have it early. So he just has a lot of experience and gets used to it. So that's what we've been doing every day, teaching him how to become a man. Putting on the Copa Mutator pack for the first time. I mean, yes, he has the Euphoria, but it's always good it's always exciting to be putting on new shoes for the first time. It's an exciting feeling, and he's gonna be breaking these in. So that's why we put the silicone gel pads in the back of his heel, because it's always a problem when new shoes to break in, that they always kind of cause blisters. Go ahead and stand up. So this is what it looks like on feet. Keep turning. So excuse the ground here, but we'll get on grass and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, one more turn. Good. There's a Copas in the back. So it looks good. Low cut shoes always kind of look good, and look how it blends in well with the black in his socks and the black in the shoes. You see how, go ahead and turn to the side. You see how this black kind of blends in with the red. So it goes well with black socks, which he wears all the time with his Ceres uniform. Okay, one more turn. Okay, let's go do some play testing. How does it feel? Comfortable?
Yeah, comfy.
Okay, good. Let's go to the football field. Alright, as usual, we have the whole field to ourselves. Ever since this pandemic, we've been using this field, and there's hardly anybody is out here. It's such a nice field. So here's our ball bag with all the soccer balls. We got some match balls, practice balls. We got our duffel bag for a change of clothes, towels. Then here's a little picnic mat for all our water. So we always stay hydrated. We got off lotion in there, sunscreen, that's most important, water, like change of clothes. So the grass is being mowed over there. If he starts coming here, then we'll just move. So let's take some footage of Hero juggling. So like I said, it's a little bit overcast, sunny, so make sure you wear your sunscreen. We usually wear anything from SPF 24 to 50 to 100. Just make sure that it's waterproof, so because over here you're gonna sweat a lot. So check out how he loves his shoes. So as you can see, Hero is pretty good at juggling now. I mean, before I went into prison, he didn't know how to juggle. Now he can juggle, as you can see. So this is how we kind of warm up with him with his juggling. We do some stretching and juggling. But as you can see, that's what it looks like on feet. Look how good it looks. So we're just gonna warm up. Here, let's wait for him to warm up first, then I'll turn on the camera so you can see how much juggling he does. Okay, warm up first. I'll turn the camera on once you're warmed up. Okay, ball juggling video, take 1. I'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, hold on. Okay, ball juggling video, take 2. Let's see how many we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, take 3. Okay, here we go. Take 3. This is the last take, and we'll do some shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Okay, that's good. As you can see, once Hero gets into a rhythm, he can do, 40, 30, 40 or more. So let's just walk around the shoes. And let's do some shooting. Let's do some striking with it. Okay. Go ahead and do some dribbling with it so we can see the Copa in action. Okay, let's do some shooting. Okay, here we go. Hero is just taking some warm-up dribbles. So before he actually, so as you can see, it's a beautiful sunny day here with some clouds and beautiful field, beautiful weather. So this is God's country here. And you might notice that Hero is actually using, that's my old shirt from back in America. While I was in prison, he kind of outgrew all his clothes, because when I left him, he was just still a little baby, and then when I came out, he's like a man, so he's wearing a lot of my clothes. So that shirt that he's wearing is actually mine. And so he's gonna need some new football kits, so he doesn't have to use my hand-me-downs. So this is his warm up. So after he's warmed up, we'll take some more action play test. Okay, we'll take some close-up shots over here. Like I said, this is my favorite weather this time of year. It's like January, and it's nice and warm and sunny and not too hot, not too cold, just right. Go ahead. On the other side. Then you get one of those cameras that has like the anti-shake also. Okay, let's keep taking footage of the Copas, the play testing, so everybody can get an idea what, if you get these Mutator packs, what it's going to look like on your feet. So it looks best with this all black combination. Hold on. Over here, let me take a picture with it like this. No, with this, use the match ball. This is Champions League match ball. Do it this way so the sun is behind me. Ooh, photography 101. Make sure the sun is behind you. Let's take a picture. Okay, let's take some shots from this angle. One more. Okay, we're gonna go do some ladder here. Maybe I'll put this in slow motion so you can see it in action. The purpose of the ladders is to train them to stay on their toes. So go ahead, do some ladder drills. Yeah, it's nice to have the field all to ourselves. I mean, maybe because of the pandemic nobody's out here, but I'm not complaining. We like having the freedom. So there should be that's a lot of play testing footage right there. So maybe I'll use this in slow motion so you can see it. Okay, let's take some from the back. Okay, go. Hey, don't hit the ladder. So what happens is if you don't pick up your toes, then the ladder will move. So the idea, that's what the ladder on the ground is supposed to make sure that if you drag your toes, it'll move. So we'll do a few more of these from the back, and then we'll do one from the side. Oh, we have good light still. Okay, one more. Get to look at Hero's thunder thighs here. Okay, get some water and then we'll do the ones on the side. Go. So this is the side, from the side. So you get the full feel and flavor and look. I had to loosen the shoelaces because it was, since it's the leather's in its breaking in process, so it was feeling a little snug, so I loosened it up for Hero. So the ladder is one of the football exercises to keep them on their toes and nimble. And this is what you would look like if you had this Mutator pack. Action. It looks good. Like I said, you look good, you play good. And if you have an off day, at least you look good. And as you can see, if you have this dark uniform, it doesn't matter how bad you play, as long as you look good. Hey, I saw that move. On your toes. So if you're on your toes, then the ladder it's not going to move or get caught. Okay, one more and then we'll do some dribbling. Okay, so this is what our exercise regiment is like. Ladders, dribbling, shooting. And just being out here and getting some exercise. Okay, give me a sample. So over here we have him just doing some dribbling. This is part of our training every day. Is his dribbling. Get out of the way. So this is the Copa in action again. So this is, we want to take some dribbling. Take some videos of the Copa in the middle of the dribbling action. Let's take one from the side here. And that was his left. We're working on it. We're always practicing the left. So for David M, that's always saying he should be practicing with his left. Yes, we are practicing with his left. Like most football players, he's dominant with his right foot. Okay, one more with your right foot. So this is the Copa on feet, actual training. We would love to get it in actual games, but we don't know when that is going to be. Let's just hope that it's sometime this year, 2021. Okay, get some water. We'll do your trick shot. Okay. This is our final video. This is his skill trick dribble. The first thing he does is he does a step over, then tap with the back leg, and then tap again. and then where he takes, then take a shot. So, oh, wait. Go ahead and do it more smoothly than that, but slow. Go ahead. Step over and shot. Okay. So let's take a couple of. So we learned this from like one of the. Who was it? You did this. Free kickers or Unisport? Okay, we got this from this trick shot from Unisport. Okay, go ahead. So we'll do a couple of these. So when he was a little peanut, we used to practice this. Okay, that's why we practice. Okay, last one. That'll conclude our video. Okay, so I'll probably upload this in the Vendetta football video. I'll edit like two different versions, one for the Vendetta football and one for the Vendetta channel. So if you enjoyed this review on feet playtest, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a comment. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's do one more turn for us. One more on feet. This is BebotsOnly and Vendetta football. Thanks for watching. And as you can see, our training is not complete yet after 2.5 hours of training on the field. He has online training next with his team and his coach. So even though they can't do face-to-face training, they do their online training. So that's the second part of our today's football training. And then after this, we are going to go later. We are going to go to the gym and work on our core and our back and arms. And by the way, he loved the shoes, by the way. So after we loosened it up, it was more comfortable again, and the leather kind of broke in nicely. We just put it in his Predator bag because he's not going to be using his Predators anymore. So that's what it was like using the Copa 20.1 Mutator. Hello everyone, I just noticed this bird nest, but there's no eggs or anything like on it. No, we always get birds nests at our house. So here's one bird's nest, but no birds. Still interesting to see these birds nests. And then for the last part of the day is hitting the gym, lifting weights to prevent injuries.